Hi there everyone, Coach Alexa here. I wanted to talk a little bit about fatigue resistance today. So this is particularly important for longer distance events. So I work with runners who are doing marathons, who are doing ultra marathons, who are perhaps working on the run leg at the end of their triathlon, where when you start the run, you've already got a decent amount of fatigue in your system. So a few things to think about to help you resist fatigue in your running and maintain your target pace for longer or for the duration of your event. The first thing to think about is about pacing. So the easiest way to compromise your ability to maintain your pace, particularly towards the end of a long distance event, is to go out too fast at the start. So really practicing and becoming familiar with your target pace that you're going to be running at, and resisting the urge to go out too quickly at the beginning of that run or race. That will have a massive effect. It impacts your availability of quick release fueling. So if you get through that too early on, your ability to drip feed the rest of your run is compromised. Also has quite a good psychological benefit if you're able to maintain your pace and others around you are inevitably slowing down. There are some specific sessions that you can use to work on pacing and fatigue resistance. So things like at the end of occasional long runs, trying to lift your pace for the final mile or two or kilometre or two. So your body is practicing finishing strong on tired legs. Sessions like progression runs, where maybe every mile of the run for a 4 or 5 mile run is slightly quicker than the one before. So again, we're just learning that we're getting quicker, we're negative splitting, and we're finishing a run strong. Or trying to make the final rep or two of your speed session the fastest reps. Try maybe a sort of reverse approach to your speed training. Instead of looking at consistency of reps, trying to challenge yourself to get each rep a little faster. So a few different things you can work on from a training session point of view to help. I guess the biggest element, particularly as the distances get longer, lots of research now to show that the brain has a really big impact on our performance, as well as just the sort of physical side of things and the training that we do. So having some tricks up your sleeve, particularly for the longer ultra events where the impact of the brain is really quite big on whether or not you can pace yourself or even get to the finish. So thinking about some sports mindset tips. The area of sports psychology is a massively interesting field now and has hugely influential effects on performance. So thinking about things like how you chunk up the run, how to get yourself back from a more negative mindset into a more positive one, mantras, reasons why you're doing it, your confidence building exercises, all sorts of things like that can really help with long endurance distance performance. I guess it's almost worth revisiting the basics as well, because another set of common reasons why people fade towards the end of marathons, ultras, the run leg of a triathlon, is the sort of trilogy of are you rested enough going into it, are you fueling well, and are you hydrated? All of those three will have an impact. So having a fueling strategy in the days before, the morning of, and during your event. Making sure you stay hydrated, sort of higher levels of dehydration will have a big impact on your performance. But also the idea of going into that event rested. So you might have tapered back, so you're physically rested. But if you can, also take a little bit of a mental taper. So making sure that final week or two in front of the race is a little bit lower stress. You manage to get a little bit more sleep in. You manage to get a little bit more rest in. So your brain has more mental capacity to deal with any tough situations, particularly that crop up towards the end of a race. Hope that's helpful.